gentlemen, students of AEM508, which is Technological and Social Change in Agriculture. We are on to Unit 3 of this course, and it is a beautiful unit filled with good, good terms, good concepts, and at the end of the day, we, the students, we should be able to know at the end of the course, we should be able to know different things as it concerns thoughts concerning social change. First and foremost, at the end of this unit 3, students should be able to differentiate the different schools of thought surrounding the concept of social change, and they should also be able to explain how social change affects the society and they themselves in general as individuals in the society. They should be able to discuss the manner and sources of social change, and as well mention the factors that will have to that they have to contend, or the social change agent has to contend with when introducing the change, and as well the characteristics of the society and the characteristics of change will also be looked at as they affect change in the society. And when we use the word affect change, we are referring to how change comes in and is either accepted or rejected by people of the society. I encourage you to participate actively, and at the end of the day, you will be glad you did. Thank you and remain blessed.
Yeah, we are on to Unit 3 of this particular course, AEM 508, which is titled Technological and Social Change in Agriculture. Unit 3 talks about the basic social concepts, and so under this Unit 3, we'll be looking at intended learners' outcome. At the end of this Unit 3, students should be able to differentiate the different schools of thought surrounding the concept of social change, explain how social change affects your society, that's their society, and you as an individual, discuss the manner and sources of social change, mention the factors you will have to contend with. You say you, we mean the social agent, the change agent, or you, the student, will have to contend with as a change agent when introducing change in its introduction. We need good theories of social change for building and thinking of all involved in the process of development, as individuals and communities, organizations, social movements, and donors. Good concepts help us to grasp what is really happening beneath the surface. Theories help to guide us to understand, to discover the real work we need to be doing, primarily assisting communities and their organizations to understand the shape theories of social change. There are different theories of social change. Meanwhile, the first there are different theories of social change. First, these theories about social change help and are aimed in explaining certain concepts. And these concepts are explanation of sources of social change, time span of change, and effect of social change, and as a social changing unit. There are different schools of thought that are concerning social change. All right? And these theories, they are there. We'll be coming to them later in the course of the study. Meanwhile, let us look at social change. Change comes into the community or into the environment through two different ways, and these are external and internal. When it is internal, we are looking at leadership changes, invention, discovery, and possibly reorganization. It is external when climate, weather, talking about time span of change and effects of change. In talking about time span of change, we're looking at when the change was brought and when it started having effects on the people. That is the time span. And of course, it usually have effects. This effect could take a long time or could take a short time. It's long time when the change is complex, but a short simple. Like we said before, there are different theories of social change. And the first there is the equilibrium theory, while the second is the conflict theory. All right? For the equilibrium theory believes that government should promote the needs attainment of the people. This theory does not believe in the existence of class among the people. They also believe that people share interests, and so and therefore there is no need for conflict. On the equilibrium theory further assumes that change is assumed to favor everybody concerned. On the contrary, the conflict theory, which does not completely disagree with the equilibrium theory, in this particular conflict theory, the theorists that's the men who have advanced this theory, they have their own belief, and they believe that men existed and passed through primitive times, okay, and so the conflict expanded as the conflict expanded by saying that the less efficient people labor to serve the more efficient people, and so they believe that in the society. Talking about social change and the forms in which social change manifests. Social change manifests in economic form, in political form, in technological form, in cultural form, and in behavioral form. It exists in economic form when we look at mode of distribution, mode of production first, distribution, and consumption. Then it exists in a political form when we look at the different ways power is being shared, is being distributed among people of a social system. Then in technological change, we look at how technology has impacted on the people in terms of housing, in terms of transportation, in terms of medicine, and so on and so forth. Then in cultural change, we look at the material and non-material aspect of culture, while in the behavioral change, we look at the attitude of in one way or the other. That takes us to sources of social change. Change comes into the community or into the environment through invention, through discovery, and through diffusion. It is invention when there is a combination of already existing traits. It is discovery when they have not discovered it. It may be amongst people it has not been discovered before. Then it is diffusion when it begins to spread as material and non-material culture, or at material or non-material level. All right. Most importantly, social change is enhanced by increased and more efficient communication facility, speed of traveling around, existence of specially trained diffusion process. That it does not stop there. There are other sources of change in the country. The other sources are the religious institutions, which are spread by the leaders of these religious institutions, which could be Christianity or Islam. Then urbanization, because as the community grows, it urbanizes. People come from different areas and bring in change which affect or influence other people. Then government policy. Government make laws, ethics, which affect people in one way or the other. Then application of science and technology also brings about change. The natural factors like wind, flood, drought, erosion, insect and pest infestation, erosion, and so on and so forth, they are sources of change, because when they come, people are bound to life. We can look at nature of social change. Social change exists in different natures. It could be planned or unplanned. All right. It is planned when the change is anticipated. It is unplanned when it comes as an accident. The second one is social change can come in the form of total or segmental form. It is total when it affects the entire people of a particular community, or segmental when it affects only a section of the community. Then it is immanent or contact. It is immanent when the social change is existing or coming from within the society, where it is being influenced from outside. That takes us to characteristics of innovation. Yes, characteristics of innovation. These characteristics, to a very large extent, help in influencing change and the acceptance of this change by the people. And these are the relative advantage, the cost, the complexities, the feasibility, the divisibility, and the compatibility. All of these are the characteristics of innovation. And when we talk about relative advantage, in this particular case, we look at the new innovation and what existed before. Which one is better? If the new innovation is better, then it has a relative advantage over what existed before, and so it is accepted. And in terms of cost, you look at if it is very expensive, definitely the people will reject it. But if it is cheap compared to what existed before, they will accept it. The complexities, Is it complex to adopt? Is it complex to understand? If the more complex it is, the less willing the people are ready to accept it. All right. Then visibility. What you are teaching them, the innovation you are passing, is it something that can be seen? If the more visible the innovation is, the more willing or readiness the people would be to want to accept the change. Then, of course, the visibility. This technology or innovation, is it a complex whole or is it in bits, in parts? If it is in parts, the more divisible it is, the more willing the people are to accept the change. And of course, in talking about compatibility, we are looking at how compatible it is with the people of that particular place, compatible with their culture, compatible with their tradition, with their custom. Then we'll go to characteristics of the society. The society has their own characteristics, which also go a long way in influencing change and how people either accept or refuse change. And these characteristics are the physical environmental factors. The physical environmental factors are those factors that in one way or the other can influence change. All right. And the more pleased the people are with the physical environmental factors, the better and willing they are to accept the change. The migration and population changes. People move from one place to another, and when they move, definitely they come with their culture, they come with their tradition, and of course, they begin to influence the people that they are meeting, and so on and so on and so forth. Then the third one here is the culture and structure of the society. The nature of the society, the culture and the structure goes a very long way in determining the rate at which people will accept or reject change. Of course, the fifth one is the prevailing attitudes and values of the people. The sixth is the perceived need. The more perceived need of the people, the more they want to accept change, especially if the change addresses their needs. And of course, relative isolation of particular society and relative contact. Okay, the more a society that knows nothing or does not have innovation stays close to the society that has innovation, the more they want to accept, and of course, the more they want to grow. With that, we'll come to the conclusion of this particular course. And so far, talking about the conclusion, this unit has enabled the students to understand the important theories, which are the important theories of social change, which are the equilibrium and the conflict theory, all right, and what they exactly purport. Again, the manner and the sources through which change can be experienced was also treated. The factors, characteristics, which the change agent must be aware of in order to make a successful delivery of change was also dealt with. All right, and of course, any person in that particular society that the change agent has to work with, these characteristics help him in knowing how to go. Thank you. And before we draw the curtain, there are assignments there for you to do as students, and this assignment will go a long way in helping you get a better understanding of the. Say thank you for listening.